The world is filled with so many different types of genes. Different plants and animals, even if they're of the same species, produce a wide variety of genetic combinations for us to observe. Since we've already discussed a little bit about vocabulary and basic concepts for simple genetics, today you guys are going to go through a tutorial on how to use a tool called Punnet Square. This tool is what will allow us to discover genotype and phenotype ratios of children between two different parents. The very first thing that you want to do with any genetics problem is to carefully read through and identify the key points of information. This particular problem reads, in dragons, red fire breath, big R, is dominant over blue fire breath, little r. What are the genotype and phenotype ratios of children whose father was dominant for both fire breath genes and whose mother was recessive for both fire breath genes? Now that I have read the problem, I went ahead and underlined the important pieces of information. First, red fire breath is dominant to blue fire breath. So red fire breath is a big R and blue fire breath is a little r. Second, the father of the problem is dominant for both fire genes, so his genotype will be big R, big R. The mother is recessive, so her genotype is little r, little r. Finally, the problem is asking us to find the ratios of both genotype and phenotype for their children. In order to create a Punnet square, you must first draw a window. No, seriously. You'll draw a large rectangle and cut it in half, both vertically and horizontally. Then you'll place one parent's genotype at the top of each column. As you can see, I did the father's genotype here, one big R over each square. Then you'll put the other parent's genotype on the left-hand side, one per row. For this problem, I did the mother's little r, little r. The next thing that you do is predict the children's genotypes. Each square of the Punnet square represents a 25% chance that a child will have that specific genotype and phenotype. How do we figure this out? Well, you take the top letter and the side letter for each box and put them together. So box 1 is big R, little r. Box 2 is again big R, little r. The same with box 3 and box 4. When you have completed your Punnet square for this particular problem, you'll see that all 4 boxes are heterozygous because the letter at the top is a big R and the letter on the side is a little r. Remember that when you are writing simple genetics, the dominant gene, so whatever your capital letter is written first in a heterozygous pairing. So now we are able to answer our genetics problem. Because all 4 boxes were big R, little r, the genotype of the dragon children is 100% heterozygous for fire breath color. Due to each child having the dominant gene for breath color, their fire breath will appear red, making the phenotype for the children 100% red fire breath. I do have a second problem for you to try on your own, due in class tomorrow. Give it your best shot. Remember to follow the steps of this tutorial to help you solve the problem. I will check it in first thing, and then we will go over it as a class. I will take any questions about Punnet squares or things we've learned in the genetics unit to this point as well at that time. Good luck!